Good evening, everyone. Welcome back again in another weekly market outlook. Hope you are good, doing well, enjoying your weekend. So, today we are having weekly market outlook early and on Saturday. All right, so let's move on. Let's look at the weekly market outlook. All right, so if anyone want to join us looking for group membership, just simply go to techtradingacademy.com. There are membership levels. All right, so group training and one-on-one training, you can check the levels. If you're looking for further information, just simply fill that form and send that form to me for further information. I'll try my best to get back to you as soon as possible. All right, so now let's move on to the social sites where you can follow me for ideas and updates. So just simply go to my trading view profile and check the signature box. You're gonna get these links from there: website, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Slack, and Telegram. All right, so let's look at the setups. All right, so Australian dollar, US dollar is falling very hard. So maybe it's gonna be a surprise for some people because we are live a bit early today. All right, and it's on Saturday. All right, so those who can't catch the live weekly market outlook, they can catch the recording later on. So let's move on. So Australian dollar, US dollar is falling very hard from the top. All right, so last week, if you guys remember that, I have asked you to look for a sharp sell from top on the Australian dollar, US dollar. Okay, so we got a very nice sharp sell on the Australian US dollar from top. Okay, and there is still potential on this chart to push all the way up to 75, and then it can hold that floor and can go back up. So we're gonna look at the lower time frame as well. Okay, so same, we got the sharp sell on pound dollar, US dollar. Okay, so last week, as I said, short term one more up and then sharp sell on the pound dollar from the top. So we got a sharp sell on the pound dollar too. So we got a sharp sell on the euro dollar too as well, and we got a sharp sell on the Kiwi cat too. All right, so more downside is possible for next week. Dollar chief also went higher last week. We were expecting it to break that correction and continue to keep pushing higher. Okay, so we got that. We got another correction, that one broke out too for more upside. All right, and euro dollar also broke the correction. It slightly went higher. All right, this correction slightly went higher, broke that top, and then we got a quick sell off over there. So yeah, we got a sell on the euro dollar too. All right, now let's move on. Those were the some charts are just recently posted and can provide us some good opportunities. So now let's move on to the setups for next week. So first of all, we got a dollar index. As we have seen dollar index last week. We are still within that weekly correction. All right, that weekly correction still can drop. All right, this still can drop for another leg lower all the way back to that low, although chances for that are less likely. The reason is very much clear over there, that the yield is pushing very aggressively for upside. Okay, so currently the move which we got over there last week was driven by the yield. US 10-year yield was aggressive. As said last week that we were expecting yield to break out and push more higher. All right, we got breakout on the yield. All right, last week it was around 34 somewhere, yeah, close to these areas. Yeah, 30-34 within these areas. So we got a breakout, nice breakout on the yield, and it went up to close to 160 last week. All right, so we are expecting yield to just keep pushing more higher and tag $2 to 2%. All right, okay, go up to 2. Right, this is the target which we are anticipating. Yeah, if this keeps pushing higher very aggressively, then we may see bottom over there on the dollar index, and dollar index is ready to run for longer term reversal. All right, So higher yield will force, Fed to go for tapering, all right? And if yield is not going to rise very, very aggressively, then we may see that the Fed can keep buying the bond for much longer period of time, okay? So higher yield is gonna force the Fed to do something with their current, bond buying policy. All right, so March meeting gonna be very important for the Fed. All right, so we got a nice bounce off on the dollar last week, all right, and we got a big ABC move over there on dollar index. All right, so for next week when market gonna open, yes, a correction to form over there on a 4-hour time frame, and this to just keep pushing higher. All right, so similar way, the way we have seen correction on the dollar chief. All right, so if you remember, I have just shown you at the start correction to breakout. So similar correction to form on the dollar index, and price to just keep pushing more higher. Okay, correction to form and just keep pushing higher. If we don't have a correction, we don't see correction over there, all right, then another leg lower on the dollar index. Okay, and then again after forming, another leg lower or testing that low dollar index to just keep pushing higher. All right, so bottoming, dollar index is just bottoming over there. Okay, so let me look at the daily time frame. So we are expecting, another leg higher on the dollar index. All right, this to extend all the way back to these highs. Okay, this leg all the way back to that high, right? This leg we are anticipating on the dollar index after having 4-hour time frame correction on lower time frame. Let's just look at the dollar chief. Okay, so dollar chief just extended, all right, and broke this previous top. Okay, so this correction to appear over there on dollar index and give us another leg higher. All right, so that's what you are looking on the dollar index. Okay, and dollar chief to just keep pushing higher. Okay, dollar chief to keep pushing higher all the way back to that top. So I'm gonna look at this chart later on, but first of all, let's look at the euro dollar. Okay, euro dollar daily chart dropping nicely. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, this broken down, and we are having another daily correction over there. Okay, now this daily correction to break out and euro dollar to resume the longer term downtrend. All right, so higher rates will definitely gonna force this pair to keep dragging lower. All right, higher rates. All right, so higher rates across we are having higher rates across the world. All right, across the majors, we are having 2% on New Zealand 10-year yield. We are having, above 190 on Australian dollar, and last week we have seen that US 10-year yields broke out 150. All right, that created a sharp move on dollar. Okay, and next week we are simply looking this daily correction to break out. Okay, aggressively break out and euro to visit 16. All right, so 116 or possible more downside all the way back to these lows. Okay, for longer term. So if I'm gonna look at the updated chart, okay, so the updated daily chart, updated maybe 2-day or 8 hours. Okay, so or let's look at that chart from there. So there you got 1-day chart. Okay, so this expanding triangle to keep pushing lower, or this ABC move. Okay, that ABC move which I have just shown on the dollar index. All right, that ABC move to just keep pushing lower all the way back to that low. Okay, so we need a lower time frame correction next week on the euro dollar. Once you see that the lower time frame correction is just appearing over there, you are looking that to break out. Okay, so bigger time frame analysis you have just seen. Okay, so this ABC move. All right, so we got the ABC move, we got a sharp sell-off over there, we got a ABC move over there. Okay, we got a sharp sell-off over there. We were expecting this to break out last week. We got a sharp breakout. Okay, so next week you are looking a correction over there. Okay, similar kind of correction, the correction you have just seen over there. All right, so that to form there. Okay, this to form there and sharp breakout. Okay, so short term you are looking that target. All right, price to hit that 1950, 1960 all right, and this to clear and keep dragging lower all the way up to 116. Okay, if we don't see breakout over there, all right, price don't break that low, then simply go for a flat formation. All right, flat formation, and then again keep dragging lower. So this move after having that correction, all right, this move after having that correction, if we don't see that correction, all right, then price simply to go back up for another leg higher, and after forming that daily correction. Okay, so I mean we are still within that daily correction which I have just shown on a bigger time frame. Okay, then bounce off, correct, go higher. Okay, then again drop aggressively from the top after forming new high within that, you know, daily flag. All right, so that's what you are looking right now. Okay, that's the structure. All right, that's the structure. Okay, back to this low or longer term, this expanding triangle to continue to keep dragging lower. All right, so I have just shown you lower time frame analysis there on a 4-hour time frame. Okay, so right now looking, you know, this daily correction to just keep dragging lower all the way back to the 116 on the euro dollar. All right, so hopefully you understand now. Okay, that's the analysis on the euro dollar. Okay, very much similar analysis like the dollar chief. Okay, so what was the analysis on the dollar chief? If I'm gonna look at this 4-hour time frame chart, we are having clear impulse, we got ABC move there, next impulse. All right, so we got this 4-hour time frame correction, we got a breakout. All right, we got a breakout, and in the previous weekly market outlook, I have, you know, shown you wait for that 4-hour time frame correction for more upside, this leg which we are having right now over there, this correction to appear and continue to keep pushing higher. So you're looking similar move on the euro dollar, that move. Okay, this move which have already appeared over there on the dollar chief. Okay, you have already seen that move on the dollar chief. Now this move you are expecting, you're looking on the euro dollar and the dollar index. All right, and dollar chief to just keep pushing higher. All right, so we were expecting dollar chief to break the next leg over there last week, this leg, this correction to break out. All right, we got that breakout for more upside. Now we are expecting dollar chief to just keep pushing more higher all the way back to the daily top. All right, this, you know, it's 92 area, 92 mark. So let me check if I do get a, you know, correction over there. There you go. So we got the dollar chief chart. All right, so we were expecting this correction to break out last week. So we got both corrections break out, this and this. Okay, now this move to continue to keep pushing higher up to 92 next week when market gonna open. All right, so if I'm gonna look at the updated chart, the daily, we are, you know, on a weekly first. Okay, so weekly first, we are trying to find out bottom over there on the dollar chief for longer term reversal. Okay, so we can see over there, so nice good price action just appearing over there on this weekly time frame. All right, so for a longer term reversal on the dollar chief, so higher yields gonna definitely force dollar chief to keep pushing higher for longer term. All right, okay, so if I'm gonna look at the lower time frame, so what's the lower time frame analysis? Correction is already appeared over there, broke out, you're looking that to keep pushing higher, and that's going to be the target. Okay, that's going to be the target for short to medium term, and longer term target going to be much higher. Okay, so we may see a sharp rise over there like these. Okay, every time when, you know, dollar chief came close to these lows, we have seen tremendous strength. Okay, tremendous strength. There we can see. Okay, so tremendous strength. So we are expecting similar kind of move again on the dollar chief. So if I'm gonna look at the lower time frame on 4-hour time frame, we got a trend, right? Okay, so that trend which is just appearing over there from bottom. All right, so that trend is there, right? That trend is there. So once market gonna open, you're looking that flat formation. Yeah, flag is already broken out. So that flat formation too. So I'm, you know, drying really quickly. So that's the reason my, you know, some of my trend lines are not connecting very well. So once market gonna open, you're looking simply that correction. Okay, this correction to to break out. Okay, that to break out and continue to keep pushing higher. If it is not breaking, then short term one more leg. All right, so that short term one more leg, flat formation, and test that low and keep pushing higher. All right, keep pushing higher all the way back to 92 mark. Okay, so if I'm going to remove that, I'm going to go to 4-hour time frame. Okay, so within that 4-hour time frame, we still can see another leg lower. Okay, similar leg lower. Okay, like that, similar correction over there at these areas. Okay, so when you're gonna buy there within these areas, okay, for flat formation for more upside, make sure you understand that this one more leg is still on card. Okay, before we're gonna see continuation for more upside on the dollar chief. So that's the dollar chief. Dollar cat bounced off very, very aggressively from the lows. All right, and we are simply looking for dollar cat to find its floor over there and reverse for longer term for upside. So if I'm gonna look at the 2-day chart, all right, and this is about to find its floor over there. Okay, so this, you know, this yearly move we have just experienced over there. All right, so since March to this March. All right, now this to finish over there, dollar cat to find its floor over there and start reversing. All right, so start reversing, start going back up within this big sideways market. Okay, rather than a longer term downtrend. Okay, so it find its bottom and go back up. So we got a nice bounce off over there on the dollar cat last week after having higher yields. Okay, and it's also struggling to push more lower. Okay, so the yearly trend is trying to end. Okay, but we are still within that you know, formation. Okay, if I'm gonna look at this chart, okay, we got that leg lower there all the way back to this previous low, and then again after forming new low within that channel, we got a bounce off. All right, we were expecting this bounce off to happen from there. If you remember last week I have asked you to look for. Okay, so price broke out, went, you know, formed new low, and boom, we got the move which we were expecting to happen last week on dollar CAD. All right, we got that leg there. Okay, but we did not see continuation. All right, and we have that update over there on the Telegram for another leg lower. Okay, this, so we are less, you know, interested for selling the dollar CAD at current levels. Okay, so we are more interested to see a longer term reversal on the dollar CAD. Okay, and every, you know, dip or new low on the dollar cat gonna create a nice, you know, buy opportunity for short to medium term, medium term, and even longer term. So if you're trading with the trend, okay, so there is still, you know, possibility that we still can see another leg lower on the dollar cat, similar move there. Okay, that move there before going to have a longer term reversal on the dollar cat. All right, so if I'm gonna look at the clean chart and then gonna draw some trend lines over there, so structure is very much clear and similar like this structure. Okay, so we were looking for it to reverse from this bottom. We got a net leg over there. Okay, but we did not get the longer term reversal on the dollar cat. Okay, so same analysis again. So this move is already completed over there almost. Okay, so the bullish move that. Okay, now you are looking next week correction. All right, that correction to form over there on a 4-hour time frame. All right, and break through that you know, trend line and reverse for longer term for up to 130 to 131 areas. Yeah, if not, then again another leg lower. Okay, and then continue to keep pushing higher. Okay, so before you start selling the dollar CAD for that move, okay, so what you need to see, a good price action over there. All right, okay, so what we have seen there, a good price action. Okay, you see there, when I posted that chart, I have seen a very good price action over there for the sell. You see there, that's a good price action, or it's called, you know, engulfing candle, or you can say that you know, impulse. All right, very sharp impulse was just appearing over there. And when we click at the play button, all right, price never went beyond that. All right, and price started to continue to keep dragging lower. Okay, so big players, they jump into the market and they keep the trend, okay, dragging lower. So similar kind of price action again before you start selling the dollar CAD. Okay, so we got a nice aggressive sell-off over there. If I'm gonna copy that, okay, and gonna paste over there at the current price. Okay, so if that happens, then you are looking it to drop for another leg lower. Otherwise, you are looking simply another correction, okay, from lower time frame to higher time frame, from 30-minute, 15-minute to 4-hour. Okay, so if this correction keeps appearing, these 15-minute corrections keep appearing, all right, then the trend to keep intact, all right. Okay, so we already got these 15-minute corrections, okay, and they are just keep pushing higher. Okay, so if another 15-minute correction appear over there, right, then trend to stay intact, okay, and then keep pushing higher like that, okay, after forming that correction. So if correction is not going to appear over there and price action is going to appear over there for breakout, aggressive sell is just coming over there for the downside like that, sharp sell is just coming over there. That sharp sell can appear over there from current price, okay, it can appear over there after hitting the trend line. There is no specific price that the price gonna hold and gonna reverse, okay, there is no support and resistance that the price gonna hold and gonna reverse from there. It can appear over, it all depends on the market participant, okay. We need big players to jump into the market. When big players they're gonna jump into the market, you're gonna see sharp sell off, okay. That's what we have seen previously, all right. When they started to revert, to continue the previous trend, you have seen a tremendous quick sell over there, okay, and then you have seen a continuation. So similar kind of price action required over there before you start selling. So far 15-minute correction, trend to stay intact and keep pushing higher. But make sure when you're gonna buy the dollar CAD at the current price, it's slightly risky. It's gonna be a bit risky to buy the dollar CAD for more upside at the current price, okay, because trend is still there, and within that trend we still can see another leg lower. So you have to be sharp, you have to be very, very good to buy the dollar CAD at the current price on a lower time frame for more upside. Means you have to watch your chart on 1-minute time frame to 5-minute time frame for buy, and need to manage that position or break through that trend line for more upside up to 130. Okay, so you already missed the move from the bottom, because when it was dropping very, very aggressively, that's the time to watch it to reverse very, very aggressively for upside. So as long as price is going to stay within that formation, okay, that channel formation, every time when you see that the price is forming new low, all right, or testing the previous buy, previous bottom, it's going to create a longer term buy opportunity, all right. Hopefully you understand that. So that's a good chart to watch for longer term, all right. Okay, so if I'm going to look at the pound dollar, weekly chart. Okay, we have just recently seen, the weekly chart. Okay, so that's the weekly chart, and that's the old chart. We have seen that chart last week as well on March. Okay, so after 1 year, all right, so after 1 year, price completed that weekly move over there, all right. And yes, many pairs are testing 2018 tops, all right, 2017 tops or 2016 price areas, okay, and got rejection last week from those weekly tops, okay. Strong sell-off just came over there on on many pairs, okay, many assets. Okay, so we got a sharp sell-off, okay. Price still can test that top, okay, so it still can test that top, all right. So what was the last week analysis? The last week analysis was that price to keep correcting and keep pushing higher and drop aggressively from the top. Okay, so we have seen those corrections last week. All right, these corrections were forming and price was keep pushing higher. All right, and then what we have seen, higher yields, all right, and the higher rates created shock in the market. Okay, we got a sharp sell-off. All right, we got a correction, and we got a big drop over there. Okay, so for next week analysis is, next week setup going to be on a slightly bigger time frame, right? So if I'm going to look at the 8-hour time frame and going to look at the trend, we are still within that trend. Okay, within that trend. So if I'm going to draw trend line from there to there, okay, so we are still within that trend. That trend hasn't broken out yet. Okay, so analysis is very much simple for next week. Okay, so what price is doing? All right, correcting, keep pushing higher, correcting, keep pushing higher, correcting, all right, correcting, keep pushing higher, correcting, keep pushing higher. All right, so we got a sharp sell. Yeah, this might be a starting point for a longer term reversal, for weekly reversal, the chart which I have just shown you. Okay, this might be a starting point for a longer term reversal. Okay, so right now we are having higher yields across the market. All right, so if yields keeps pushing higher, right, if yield keeps pushing higher for next couple of weeks, let's say US 10-year yield is going to tag the $2 or going beyond 2% and going beyond 2% mark, all right, then dollar is not going to fall from current price. Okay, so dollar will keep getting strong, and higher yield is going to force the central banks to think about their easy monetary policy. Okay, they can go for tapering. Once they're going to go for tapering, all right, market going to take that as a hawkish sign, all right, and going to good for those currencies where we are having higher yield, like dollar can gain, or market can take that higher yields as an uncertainty. Okay, right now everyone is just buying. Every asset is just inflating. Why? Because central banks are printing money, putting their money in the market, all right, through bond market, or various strategies they are using. So that inflating the assets. So once they're gonna stop putting more money into the market, yeah, so the assets which are inflating, then they're gonna go back to fundamentals. They're gonna behave to fundamentals. Once they're gonna behave to fundamentals, you're gonna see they're gonna start dropping. All right, so this might be a tipping point, all right, for longer term reversals. All right, and if yields fall back, if yield do not continue for next couple of weeks, then stay trending. All right, another leg higher. Okay, another leg higher for short to medium term. Okay, so similar leg higher like that. All right, we need a correction which is just there on a lower time frame, that to break out, continue to keep dragging lower all the way back to that low or much lower. Okay, or simply go back up. Okay, go back up, test that top. Okay, so if I'm gonna put some arrows on my chart, okay, correction which is just there on lower time frame, that to break out, and this to keep dragging lower. Our price to simply go back up for another leg higher and then drag from the top. All right, then so if I'm gonna look at the lower time frame on a 4-hour time frame and or further lower. Okay, so this once mark you're gonna open, you simply look in this correction to break down. All right, and all right, these corrections to break out for the downside. Okay, that correction to break out, and this short-term trade, this short-term move to happen, and over from the trend line. Okay, go back up aggressively, correct, and go back up, or continue to keep dragging lower. Okay, from that trend line to keep break out the trend and continue to keep dragging lower. So that's the pound dollar chart. All right, so we are sticking to the sell side for longer term on the pound dollar, yeah, rather than, yes, one more up move is still possible, still on card. Okay, so Australian dollar, US dollar. So what was the trade last week? Okay, so the last week trade is there. Okay, so if you guys remember that, I have asked you to stay short-term bullish, okay, on a 15 to 30 minute time frame, stay short-term bullish and wait for a stronger sell. All right, so we got a stronger sell on the Australian dollar from after breaking that previous top. Okay, and if I'm gonna look at the daily chart and gonna remove this, okay, for the, as I said, okay, this might be a tipping point for longer term reversal on dollars, on dollar pairs. Okay, so what we have seen in 2013, if I'm gonna look at this chart, okay, or I'm gonna look at the vertical line, gonna look at the 2008 crisis. Okay, what has happened, in 2008, recession, Great Recession, we have seen a sharp sell-off. Then central banks intervene, they dropped the interest rates, okay, they printed more money, prices just reversed very, very aggressively. All right, and what we have seen in 2013, okay, in April 2013, okay, when Fed went for tapering, okay, in April 2013, yeah, that was the tipping point for a longer term reversal on the Australian dollar US dollar, when Fed went for tapering, when they stop buying the bond, when they drop the pace, okay, when they slower down the pace for bond buying. Okay, so since then we have seen a tremendous longer term sell-off on the Australian dollar against the pound, against the dollar. All right, a 3 years sell-off, okay, from 2013 to 2016. All right, more than 3 years. Okay, so the sell-off we have seen were started from 2013 to 23rd March 2020. Almost 7 years trend for the downside. So this might be a tipping point again on the Australian dollar against the dollar. Okay, if Fed is going to give a hint that they're gonna go for tapering in next couple of months, all right, and they're gonna slow down the pace of their bond buying, okay, then this trend gonna continue for more downside. Okay, maybe we can see another leg lower back to that 50. Okay, but if they are not going to go for tapering, all right, anytime soon, and gonna stick to the easy monetary policy, okay, then we're gonna see correction over there, and price gonna keep pushing higher. This is a longer term forecast. I'm talking about for 1 to 2 years. All right, 1 to 2 years, and again price gonna tag these tops, and then again when Fed gonna start tapering, okay, when they're gonna go for hawkish like 2013, then we're gonna see again 7 years downtrend. Okay, so yeah, as said, we are having Fed meeting next month in March. All right, and that meeting gonna be very important. Okay, that's gonna decide what they're gonna do, because market right now is expecting that Fed is going to go for the tapering. Okay, and this might be a tipping point, as I said, or a longer term drop on the Australian dollar, or strength on the dollar. So what trade you are looking right now? Okay, so the trade you are looking right now is still a continuation. All right, price to hold that. I mean, on a lower time frame, price to continue. Okay, so this next week when market open, that's the trade. Okay, and once price tag that low, watch it to hold. If it holds, okay, then another leg higher. Okay, if breakdown, then keep dragging lower. Okay, that's going to be the structure for next week. Okay, maybe those guys, those are there on the trading view, they don't see. Okay, so this is what I'm saying, guys. Okay, that's the structure. Okay, that's the structure. Okay, so if I'm gonna look at the lower time frame, so there on lower time frame, next week when market gonna open, you're looking for a pullback. Okay, pullback, and that's the trade, right? So pullback and continue to keep dragging lower. A pullback there and continue to keep dragging lower. So if I'm gonna look at the lower time frame further, okay, so further lower time frame, okay, so we have seen nice pullback over there. All right, so pullback there, pullback there, pullback there. Yeah, all these were pullback on 5-minute time frame. Okay, and price were was just keep dragging lower. Okay, so start looking for these pullbacks on your 5 to 15 minute time frame. Yeah, so the bigger the pullback, the better the reward and return gonna be over there. Okay, so last week we were looking for this correction to break out. We get a breakout. Okay, and that's next leg appeared over there. So again, another correction and price to keep dragging lower. Okay, for an expanding triangle formation, which I have just shown you on a bigger time frame. So New Zealand dollar chart is also same, guys. Okay, if I'm gonna look at the daily chart or weekly chart, okay, and I'm gonna check the April 13. All right, so there, April 2013. Okay, so when Fed went for tapering. Okay, so since then it went lower. So this might be a tipping point for longer term. Okay, so if I'm gonna look at the daily time frame, if I'm gonna draw a trend line, we are still in a strong trending move for upside on the New Zealand dollar. Okay, and last week, as I have asked you to watch for a stronger sell from the top. Okay, and for next week, the structure is again very much same like the Australian dollar. Okay, so there is high chance that New Zealand dollar can tag that 70 mark. Okay, this move, the move which have started over there. Okay, so lower time frame correction, drag to that low, breakout aggressively, keep dragging lower. Okay, if not, then bounce off, go for another leg higher, and then same structure. Okay, this structure gonna stay there for a while. All right, and we were selling this. Okay, so last week I was asking you to watch those lower time frame corrections. Okay, but even I have shown you the Australian dollar US dollar chart as well. Okay, breakout was possible of that top before going to reverse. Okay, so we got a reverse, breakout, and then we got a aggressive sell over there. Okay, so for next week, just simply correct and continue. Okay, so this is going to be the trade first. All right, so all the way back to that low or up to 70 mark, and break through 70. If 70 is not going to break down, then look for buy up to 74 or 76 areas. Okay, so there we can see we were selling it from there. I was selling from there on this correction as well. All right, and yeah, we got a good sharp sell off as well. Selling those corrections. So you are looking again similar correction over there on 15-minute time frame when market gonna open and continue to keep dragging lower all the way up to 71 first, and then 72 areas. Okay, so 71 first. All right, 71 gonna be there. Okay, so 71 there, and then 70 area. Okay, so still this chart still got a potential for more downside, and it can bounce off from for an expanding triangle. All right, so dollar yen. Okay, so dollar yen is also keep pushing higher. If I'm gonna look at the 2-day chart, we were expecting last week it to form a flat formation. Before that, we were expecting it to break out the flag and continue to keep pushing higher. So we got a breakout over there. All right, so this channel just broke out. All right, the channel which was staying over there for a longer term, and was saying that we are going to see strength on the dollar. All right, and let's look at the 8-hour time frame chart. Okay, so all these charts, reversed. All these charts reversed, all right? So dollar yen is reversing. I think I do have that chart on. Yeah, there should be another chart, okay, at these areas. All right, so there within these areas. Daily time frame. But anyway, okay, so this weekly chart. Okay, this chart has a great potential. Okay, this chart has a great potential as with compared to the other yen pairs right now. All right, because all yen pairs, they moved very aggressively, they gone. All right, but this pair is still sitting at the floor. Okay, means that this pair still got a good potential to keep pushing higher for longer term up to 112 or possible up to 118. All right, and again, if Fed is going for the tapering, then this pair is not going to stop. Okay, this pair definitely gonna be quick something like that. All right, and gonna keep pushing higher very, very aggressively. Also, it is forming a monthly flag over there. Okay, and this flag is not going to stay there. Okay, it's a matter of time. It will break, and it will break up very, very aggressively for upside. So now let's simply look at the lower time frame, and let's find this setup. Okay, so what was the setup for last week? Hopefully you remember that. Okay, that correction to complete and continue. Okay, so that correction to complete and continue. So we got that leg, next leg over there on the dollar yen. Okay, for next week, first of all, when market can open, this to just keep pushing higher on lower time frame. Okay, keep pushing higher aggressively. All right, if it is not going to do that, okay, then go down. Okay, go down, give us an expanding triangle formation, hold that previous bottom, and then continue the trend. Okay, that's the structure. Okay, that's the structure which can appear over there, all right, for a while. All right, so you're simply looking for, first of all, this to continue to keep pushing higher. Okay, that's that trend to continue to keep pushing higher. So if I'm gonna look at the lower time frame, okay, so where the opportunity gonna be? Okay, so first of all, when market open, these corrections which are just appearing over there on this 15-minute time frame, these corrections to just keep pushing higher. Okay, so we were looking for this flat formation to form, okay, or price to test that floor and continue for the next leg. So we have the next leg over there already on lower time frame. Okay, so we're next, when market open, that 15-minute time frame to slightly push more lower and break out. Okay, so continuation trade for more upsides. Okay, there is a great chance that this pair is not going to visit the low again. Okay, and this is a start for a big run. Okay, just all these pairs, they're gone. All right, just look at this chart, how far it has gone. Okay, look at that, where it is, and where the dollar yen is right now. Okay, so they made tremendous move. Okay, but dollar yen is still sitting at the bottom, so there is a great potential. So any dip you see over there on 15-minute time frame to 30-minute time frame, even on 1 hour, 4 hour, okay, so all these dips gonna be a good to look for buy on the dollar yen for more upside. All right, so these are the dollar pairs. All right, now let's look at the others one by one. All right, there are many other good opportunities we are having right now in the market, guys. Okay, so copper is also going to be a good longer term opportunity. Okay, so copper is still strong, as you guys remember that last week I said that still continuation. Okay, on a lower time frame, correct, and continue to keep pushing higher. So we have seen correction there last week and it went higher. So if I'm gonna look at the bigger time frame, okay, so this is a very important price area to watch on the copper. Okay, and copper to give us another cycle for for downside for almost 1900 days bearish cycle. All right, 1900 days bearish cycle. So similar cycle is about to start on the copper. Okay, so right now it's strong, and the market is, let's look at the 2013 again. Where is the 2013? There is the April 2013. Okay, April 2013, February and March and April. Okay, there So when Fed started tapering in 2013, we have seen a big leg over there to the downside. Okay, again, this is copper is at a tipping point again. All right, so yeah, we are still strong on it. Okay, but we are looking for a longer term reversal like that on this chart. Okay, so you shouldn't be watching this monthly time frame for sell. Okay, you should wait for price action on lower time frame where you're gonna get, we already got a price action over there. Okay, where you're gonna get a setup over there for longer term on this chart. All right, so we got a trending move, we got a correction. Okay, if I'm gonna go further to the lower time frame, all right, and we got a sharp sell-off over there. Okay, so that's the trend which we are having right now. Okay, so what you are looking, simply a good nice correction over there on the copper. Okay, correct, a 4-hour time frame correction. All right, correct over there and break down and continue for longer term to the downside. Okay, or simply bounce off from the current price, okay, and go for another leg higher, okay, and then draw for longer term to the downside. Okay, that's the structure. So if I'm gonna look at the lower time frame, okay, I'm gonna remove everything, I'm gonna go further to the downside. Okay, any correction you see there on lower time frame, okay, 4-hour time frame correction gonna be perfect for this to keep dragging lower for longer term to the downside. All right, so first of all, when market open, these 15-minute corrections to keep dragging lower. Market has already moved a lot. Okay, so when you're gonna go for sell at the current price, you're looking for short-term trade first like that, okay, like these. And if that's going to be very aggressive and dropping aggressively lower, then stay into the market. Otherwise, take off your profit for short term, all right, and wait for the next leg higher. Okay, so you got a good move on this chart too. What we were expecting on this chart last week, an expanding triangle formation. Okay, so we got a big drop over there on the Aussie CAD. Okay, that expanding triangle formation. Yeah, that expanding triangle formation I said last week. Okay, so if I'm gonna look at the 4-hour time frame, so what's the trade when market gonna open? Trade is still bearish. Okay, correction, that trade, test that, okay, and bounce off for another leg higher back to that top, right, form new high and then drop, okay, or keep dropping lower. Same structure like I have shown on the other Aussie pairs. Okay, so go to the lower time frame, price to keep pushing lower on these 15-minute time frame. All right, keep breaking. All right, so keep breaking and keep dragging lower all the way back to that 97.20. All right, and break the 97 mark for more downside, or simply go back up for another leg higher. Okay, so that's the move. All right, the move you are looking. Okay, and that's going to be the structure. All right, so Kiwi CAD already gone to the downside. Okay, so chart is already there on trading view. Okay, so we got a sell-off on it. That was also a good chart. Okay, it went higher than the previous top. Okay, we were last week, as I said, wait for the price to tag the 92.60 and then you look for it to drop. So it went higher, okay, and then drop after going higher. So it's a good chart. All right, so it's still a good chart to watch it to continue to keep dragging lower. So once market simply gonna open, yeah, so correction, that is the trade. Okay, from that trend line to keep dragging lower for longer term, or simply go back. Let me remove that trend line, that might confuse you. Right, this trend line may confuse you. Okay, so let me draw, let's remove that. Okay, so you're looking correction over there on lower time frame and that trade for short term. Okay, and once price tag that trend line, break out, okay, and keep dragging lower. If not, then another leg higher and then again drop from the top or forming new high within that ascending channel. Okay, so it's a good chart. Every time when you see that it's forming new high within that channel, okay, so there's going to be a sell opportunity for longer term to the downside. Short term, we are still in a trend. For upside short to medium term, we are still in a bullish trend, okay, but on a lower time frame, you're looking all these corrections to just keep pushing lower. All right, all these corrections will just keep pushing lower, guys. Okay, so euro yen went higher last week. All right. Okay, so we were more confident on this chart last week. We were expecting this to keep dragging lower. Unfortunately, we did not see a big move on this chart. Okay, we simply got a break up on this and it went higher. All right, and yes, there is still a very good chance that this pair gonna drop very, very aggressively to the downside all the way back to that low. All right, all the way back to that low. But make sure when you get into this trade, you manage your trade really well. All right, because yen is getting weaker, all right, and that's the reason this pair is going higher. Okay, again, as I said, the sell-off which we have seen last week, that might be a tipping point, okay, where we can see longer term reversals everywhere. Okay, and it's important that how Fed is going to communicate with the market after having higher yields. All right, so there is a still very good chance that euro yen gonna keep dragging lower all the way back to this area. Okay, but more upside is also possible. All right, so if I'm gonna look at the trend, okay, so we got that trend, and if I'm gonna look at the lower time frame, okay, so that was the correction. We got breakout on that correction, all right, last week, if you remember. Okay, we got a breakout. We even got trades, all right. So I got sell on the euro yen, all right, but we were expecting a big drop on it, so we did not see big drop, and we got break even trades. Okay, we got sell exactly from there at this area. Okay, remember, if I was asking you to wait for the retracement of that pin bar. Okay, so we got a good drop, we got a good breakout, all right, and it didn't continue for more downside. Yes, sorry, not there. Okay, I got a sell off there at this area, not there. Okay, I got sell off after having breakout. All right, but it didn't continue for more downside, and we got a break even trade. So we are not buying the euro against the yen. We are more interested to see a sell off on this chart. Yeah, because it has a huge potential for longer term to the downside rather than for upside. Okay, so as I said, this might be a tipping point. We are still looking for this to keep dragging lower. So trend is very much clear over there. Okay, that trend is very much clear over there on the euro yen. Okay, for upside. So correction already broken out. All right, so this correction to keep dragging lower. Let me remove that trend. That trend might, yeah, trend line can confuse you. So this is the trade, all right, for next week. So when market gonna open, correction is already there, all right, broken out, and nice breakout. Okay, so this to slightly get bigger, a flat formation, okay, and set the trend and keep dragging lower. All right, and you can put your stop behind that or somewhere there within these areas once you're gonna get into the trade. Okay, and watch it to drag lower. Okay, so that's, let me draw a couple of more arrows over there so that you can understand that what structure is there right now. Okay, so we still can see another leg higher after hitting the trend line. Okay, so that's what we are looking. All right, longer term. So another leg is still on card. If I'm gonna look at the chief yen chart, all right, so I have shown you already that chart. Okay, price is holding weekly highs. All right, so historical place is still, price is holding that historical top. All right, so what was the trade last week? Was the sell opportunity on the chief yen? Yeah, so should be on a maybe 1 hour, 2, 3, 4, maybe 6. Yes, 6 hour time frame. Okay, so we got a good nice sell off over there, yeah, on the chief yen. So last week where we were there at that correction. Okay, we got that breakout and went lower up to that low. All right, so what is next week? So next week analysis is very much simple. There is no complications. Okay, and you just simply follow this weekly chart. All right, so just put your horizontal ray over there and you're looking price to hold that top, okay, these areas. Okay, so you're looking for short-term trades there and a big drop over there. Price is holding that, okay, big drop all the way back to that low. If I'm gonna look at the lower time frame, okay, and further lower on a 1 hour time frame, okay, so this correction is still there, this one hour time frame correction. Okay, so this 1 hour time frame correction to slightly push more higher, okay, and then break down. Okay, push more higher, go up to 118.50, 118.20, all right, or at least test 118, all right. If price test 118, okay, then it's gonna be again gonna be at a good spot to watch for sell. Okay, 118 somewhere there where I was asking you to wait for the expanding triangle last week. Okay, otherwise just simply break down and continue to keep dragging lower. Okay, so that's the structure for last week. Or you can wait for the price to retrace up to up to 618, all right, or 786 within these areas, and then start dragging lower aggressively. Okay, so if you wanna you know track 1 hour time frame, track it. If you don't want to track that 1 hour time frame, then just simply track the weekly time frame. Okay, so you are trying to get into the market as much high as you can within these areas, okay, where I'm drawing the horizontal ray. If it visit there, great. If it is not going to visit there, then you know somewhere there you have to get within these areas. Okay, so yeah, use reasonable stop loss, don't use wider stop loss, all right, and yeah, keep trading on it, all right. And it has already given a lot of good opportunities to us. Okay, we were looking all these cells every time. Okay, it's trying to hold that weekly top for longer term. Okay, so it's also not tipping point. So Euro Chief broke out, went higher, and it looks like that this might be a breakout for longer term, all right, for you know, for another leg higher. Right, so this might be a breakout for longer term bullish move on euro. Okay, that move, this might be a breakout for that move. All right, so how to trade on this chart right now? So this chart is very slow, okay, very slow, moves very slow, and once you get into the market, you have to wait, you know, for a longer time to get profitable on it. All right, so if I'm gonna remove everything, hopefully you understand that what's the bigger time frame analysis, and gonna draw a trend line over there. Okay, that's the trend which is just trying to appear over there. Okay, so finally Swiss National Bank succeeded and they reversed the trend on this chart. Okay, they were trying to push this up from 106 105 areas since very long, all right, when it was dropping very aggressively. They were trying to reverse this chart, and if you remember, I have shown you my bullish structure within these areas, yeah, in last couple of meetings. So we got that you know, longer term reversal. So last week I was asking you to wait for some prices somewhere there and then look for sell. It just simply broke through. What's next? Okay, the question is what's next? All right, so next is very much simple. Okay, we'll look at the lower time frame. Okay, that move. Okay, that move you are looking, when you're gonna go for that move, make sure you understand that risk is very much exposed for this pair to run aggressively for upside. All right, so need to manage your positions really well, guys, on it. Okay, so there is correction already, right? So if I'm gonna remove that arrow and I'm gonna look at this correction. Okay, so correction is already broken. Okay, but the move is not so sharp. Yeah, move looks pretty corrective, the breakout. Okay, so let's just simply watch for this. All right, so watch for that. flat formation. Okay, breakout is already happened. Okay, so trend line is well below, and it has the potential to go all the way again up to 176. Okay, this is what you are watching for next week. All right, so that flat formation to keep dragging lower. Okay, so there you are looking for entry. Our price is already broke out. Okay, just looking for or keep dragging lower and correct for another time. Okay, second correction or third, whatever. Okay, and then continue the trend, keep going lower. So we have seen that chart, New Zealand dollar. Okay, so what I said last week, okay, I said that if yields keeps pushing higher, then equity is not gonna go higher. Okay, equity is gonna struggle. I have shown you 4-hour time frame continuation trade on that. Okay, so the reason normally when bond drops, all right, when we see bond goes lower, yield goes higher, we see strength on the indices. Okay, we see negative correlation. Yeah, when bonds drop, then equities goes higher. But this time what we have seen that both were dropping. All right, so both were dropping just based on the fear that Fed gonna go for tapering, quicker than expected time. All right, and that has created uncertainty into the market. That's the reason we have seen weaknesses on both on bond market and on stock market. All right, and there is another reason, and that is that there was liquidity issues in the bond market. Okay, and those who are having their long positions on the stock market, they were covering their losses from the they were adjusting their profit from the stock to bond market because bond were dropping. All right, and this has created this sell-off on the stock market last week. All right, but this is creating short-term buy opportunity. All right, again, yield is very important right now. Okay, these days high yield, bond yield is very, very important. Okay, the higher the yield goes, gonna create a panic in the market. All right, for obviously gonna force the Fed to take some actions to stop the rise in the yield, okay, or drop in the bond market. Okay, so the setup is very much same like last week. All right, so you're looking for another leg higher on the S&P 500 at that trade. Okay, and continue to keep rising up to 4,000 or 4,100. All right, okay, if it is not continue to keep rising, then this to push more lower and simply form that flat. All right, or form that expanding triangle, not flat. All right, okay, then form that flat and test that floor and then continue double bottom or expanding triangle formation. All right, and continue to keep pushing higher. Okay, very much similar the formation you have seen previously. Okay, so far there is a 4-hour time frame buy opportunity on the S&P 500. Okay, and it can continue to keep rising without hitting that floor. All right, so that is the structure, that's the formation. Okay, so Nasdaq 100 index is also very much same. If I'm gonna look at the same chart, same 8-hour time frame chart, okay, and I'm gonna look at the previous one. Okay, so same expanding triangle there. We have seen sell-off on the tech last week. Okay, so same formation on this chart. All right, so you're looking for this to bounce off and continue the trend back to that top or new high. So if I'm gonna look at the lower time frame, okay, so on lower time frame, sell-off is still strong. All right, and there is no bounce off on the Nasdaq 100 index for upside. As long as price keep correcting, all right, then try not to get into the buy Okay, there you can see, as long as price keep correcting, there you see that the stronger sell-off is still intact for more downside. All right, and you are not jumping into the trade somewhere there within these areas. Okay, that's not the good place to get in. So you are watching these lows, okay, watching these lows, and you are expecting it to bounce off on your, yeah, 1 to 5 minute time frame, and trying to get into the trade there and looking for this to continue. If you don't see bounce off on the lower time frame, 1 to 5 minute time frame, then let that go. Okay, don't jump into the trade. All right, let that go and wait for the good price action before you jump into the market. All right, so that's same, okay, on the S&P 500 as well. Okay, same goes with there. So Nikkei index is also a short-term buy opportunity. Okay, if I'm going to look at the 8-hour time frame or daily time frame, still a short-term, buy opportunity. But as I said, this might be a tipping point. Okay, the sell-off which we have seen after having higher yield, okay, this might be a tipping point, so trade with care. Okay, so Nikkei index also a bullish opportunity. Okay, that trade up to that or next leg. All right, so if do not continue, all right, after going back to that trend and fall back there this low, okay, so still gonna be a buy opportunity. All right, so same goes with the German 30, so still a buy opportunity for next week. All right, so if I'm gonna look at the 4-hour time frame, still gonna be a buy opportunity on this chart. Right, that buy opportunity simply back to that top or new high. Okay, so similar leg, the leg you have seen previously, right? These legs. Okay, so same leg. If I'm gonna draw a couple of more trend lines, okay, so you're looking price to hold these lows and just simply bounce back from the trend line, or slightly go more lower. Okay, so slightly go more lower past that previous bottom, and then a different shape. Okay, then a different pattern formation gonna be over there. Okay, then they're gonna be a similar one which we have just seen on the Nasdaq 100 index. All right, okay, and then continue the trend for upside. Okay, so UK 100 index also broke down, okay, after having the sell-off on the bond market. All right, okay, so the trend is still bullish on this, on the UK 100 index. All right, but we still can see another leg lower before going to continue to go higher. Okay, because UK 100 index is still very weak. All right, very weak for more upside. Okay, like that, that's the structure. Okay, so you are paying attention within these areas for it to hold and continue to keep pushing higher for next leg or drag up to the trend. Okay, so yield, as I said, yield is the key. Okay, when market gonna open next week, you're looking yield to hold and go beyond 160 and tag the $2 mark as soon as possible. All right, so if I'm gonna draw some arrows there, okay, that's what you are looking for next week. All right, so go into a 4-hour time frame correction and continue the trend. All right, continue that trend. Okay, so what you have seen previously, okay, so price went lower, corrected, ABC move, okay, and then all right, so form that bigger ABC move and then went higher. So similar correction you are looking at the current price. All right, there, that, so same goes with there. They are pushing higher too. So US oil went higher and going for the correction right now. Okay, again, US oil is also at a good spot where we can see some pressure on the WTI. Okay, WTI can fall from 65 areas. All right, okay, so it still can push more higher up to 70. All right, so when you are trading on the WTI, make sure you understand that you are only buying it for short term for more upside, okay? And you know, and are ready for a deeper pullback, okay? So deeper pullback is, you know, very much possible on the WTI, okay, up to that these areas, okay? So it can go up to the trend line. So if I'm gonna go to the lower time frame, all right, and you're gonna look at there, so what you are simply looking another push for upside. As long as trend is there, you are just simply looking for short-term continuation for more upside, and obviously ready for a bigger correction. What was the trade last week? Okay, another leg higher. Okay, another leg higher. That, so you got that leg last week, all right, another leg higher. So for next week, all right, so price to simply push slightly more lower, okay, back to these areas, and then continue the trend, right? So buying at the current price for short term right now is not a, you know, good thing, guys, simply. All right, so trend to stay intact, okay, but there on a lower time frame, push slightly more lower, tag 58 mark, all right, and then continue the trend for more upside. Okay, so that's what you are looking, yeah, that's what you're looking next week. So let's look at the Aussie yen. Aussie yen is also, we got a quick sell off on it, all right, and let's just straight away go to the lower time frame. Okay, I have also shown you analysis on other charts, okay, where we got a sell off, sharp sell off. Okay, so last week we have seen short term, you know, another leg higher, and then we have seen, you know, a quick sell off on it, okay, as we were expecting it behaves similar way. Okay, now what is the analysis for next week? Okay, pull back on a lower time frame, correct, continue to keep dragging lower, or simply bounce off from the trend line and go for another leg higher. Okay, that's the structure for next week. So if I'm gonna look at the lower time frame and gonna look at the 1 hour time frame, okay, so sell off is pretty sharp over there. Okay, so again, simple correction, continue the trend, okay, or simply bounce up from the trend line, okay, and continue another leg higher. Okay, so you guys can use moving averages for that, okay, to get the idea that where up to which level price can bounce off. Okay, right now it's testing 4-hour moving averages. You can use those moving averages. You can use, you know, multiple indicators. There are indicators which can help you to figure it out that up to which level price can go and where it can bounce off. Right now it's testing 4-hour moving averages. Okay, it can bounce off and continue to keep pushing more higher. Okay, if it is not going to bounce off and going to correct, okay, then continue to keep dragging lower. Okay, if I'm gonna look at these previous charts, you can see over there, correction, it bounced off, all right, correction, it bounced off, all right. So similar way, guys, you can wait and watch for the price action over there for price to bounce off and continue to keep pushing higher. Okay, so that's the Aussie yen. Okay, and same gonna be with the Kiwi yen too. We are expecting this, you know, corrective big trend to fall. Okay, this corrective big trend to fall, okay, very aggressively to the downside. So we got a sell off over there, all right, but trend is still intact. All right, so same goes with this chart. We got a strong sell off, and this might be a tipping point, as I said earlier. Okay, but you are, you know, trading similar way. Okay, correct and then drop, or just simply go back up for another leg from the trend line. Okay, CAD yen also same. Okay, on a daily time frame, correct and drop very aggressively for the downside. Okay, as I have explained, the Aussie yen. Okay, so similar way, all these charts are same, correct and break out to the downside. Yeah, or go back up for another leg higher from the trend line. Okay, all right, so on lower time frame, just simply watch your corrections. Okay, it is correcting and keep dragging lower, so you're watching. Okay, you see there those corrections were forming and the trend was there. Okay, so you are watching more corrections and price to keep dragging lower. All right, so same goes with the pound yen. If I'm gonna look at the daily chart, right, so the trend is trying to break out for the downside. All right, so that trend to hold, all right, hold, go back up, or break down very, very aggressively from the current price. Okay, simple structure is there on all yen pairs. All right, we got a quick sell-off. All right, and that can get worse. Okay, that can get worse, so you are looking this to break down very, very aggressively. Okay, if not, then continue to keep pushing more higher. All right, so what was the trade last week on this chart? Okay, so breakout, you got a breakout on this, and finally you got another leg lower. Okay, it took a lot of time to drop, by the way, this time. All right, so the correction was just keep getting bigger, and it reversed 100% of that impulse. All right, and then last week it has just simply broken down. All right, so for next week, you are looking this to just keep dragging lower for more downside. All right, so if I'm gonna draw a couple of trend lines over there, then you're gonna see that what kind of structure gonna be over there. Okay, that's your structure, and any correction you see there on a lower time frame. Okay, so you are looking that trade. Okay, continuation to the downside. So if I'm gonna look at the lower time frame, okay, and they're gonna go for further downside. All right, so you got a nice aggressive sell-off on this chart last week after the rate decision on New Zealand dollar. Okay, and since then it is just keep dragging lower. So any other correction, this to just keep dragging lower. All right, so just keep dragging lower. All right, so dollar CAD, I have already shown dollar CAD, and gonna look at the gold as well. It's a 1 hour ago. I have just seen the comment now. All right, so continue to keep dragging lower. So there you got a bounce up on the dollar rand too from the previous low. All right, and yes, just keep looking for this to keep bouncing off. All right, so emerging market currencies are under pressure after having higher yields. Okay, so it's bounced off very, very aggressively from floor. So the longer term chart is simple and is bullish. Okay, that's the longer term direction. All right, and if I'm gonna look at the lower time frame, all right, so you got a nice bounce off on this chart last week after having that expanding triangle formation. Okay, you got a nice bounce off and it went higher. So that's the let me make it easy for you. Okay, so this ABC move now. All right, so this ABC move. All right, so breakout and continue the bullish trend, or another leg lower back to that bottom or slightly lower than that. Okay, and then reverse after forming another leg lower. So currently we are not expecting another leg lower, but it's possible. All right, so you are paying attention on very small, on a lower time frame, every correction you see there. Okay, because this might be a tipping point, as I said. All right, the sell-off, if sell-off on bond market is going to get worse, it will create a shock in the market. Okay, the shock which we have experienced in 2013 during when Ben Bernanke said that they're gonna go for tapering. Okay, and right after that they reversed their they started to give explanation that that wasn't their mean. and they were saying something else, trying to stabilize the market. Okay, so after 6 months, 4 or 6 months, they started to cut their bond buying. Okay, so if we are experiencing the same scenario, then you look in this to break out and continue to go more higher. Okay, so we have seen strength on the dollar peso. Okay, so dollar peso is also bounced off. Okay, after having that longer term down trend, all right, and trying to break out. Okay, so you should remember that structure, all right, because I was showing that structure since very long. Okay, we are within that daily or weekly correction. Okay, that might be a start, okay, for another boom for upside. Okay, for another boom for upside. Okay, like it has done there previously. Okay, so emerging market currencies are struggling against the dollar after having higher yields. Okay, so what to do on dollar peso for next week? Okay, so the trade's gonna be on a lower time frame. It still can visit the low. Okay, let me first of all explain something else before you guys start jumping into the chart for upside. Okay, it can go again in a longer term sideways market there at the current price. Okay, so it is being expected that I think there still gonna be a rate decision on this on peso, or maybe it has already gone. I'm not sure when is the next rate decision on the peso. Okay, if they are going to cut the interest rate, yeah, then this pair can push aggressively higher, guys. Right, so if I'm gonna look at the lower time frame, yeah, right now we are not expecting it to go sideways. Okay, but when you're gonna trade on it, make sure you understand that it still can fall back to 1960 before going to continue for upside. Okay, so last week we got correction there, and it just broke the previous top and continued to keep pushing more higher. All right, so these lower time frame, these 4-hour time frame corrections. Okay, if I'm gonna look at the 1 hour, all right, so it to correct for another time. It is correcting, by the way. All right, it is correcting. Okay, this correction to slightly get bigger. All right, slightly get bigger and breakout like it has done there. Okay, and continue to keep pushing higher. Okay, so that's dollar peso. Euro New Zealand dollar finally reversed very aggressively after going down very aggressively. Yeah, so it reversed after hitting that floor, that bottom. Yeah, but we are still in a bearish trend. Look at that, where that weekly candle has just simply closed. Okay, so this might, again guys, I'm saying same words, this might be a tipping point for longer term reversals. Okay, for upside on the euro. Okay, euro against the New Zealand dollar, this might be a tipping point. So how are you gonna trade? Okay, so trade same way. All right, the way I have just explained on the dollar CAD. All right, dollar CAD also bounced back similar way, the way it has done the euro New Zealand dollar. Okay, so yeah, so correction. Okay, correction and continuation. All right, if we don't see correction and the trend which is just appeared over there on lower time frame, if that breaks to the downside, then simply trade with the trend. Okay, that move back to that bottom or new low, and then again from the floor. Okay, watch it to bounce back aggressively the way it has done over there previously. So let me draw some arrows over there. All right, that way. Okay, or break down very aggressively, form new low or test the previous low, and then again bounce back very aggressively for upside. If I'm gonna look at the 1 hour time frame, I'm gonna go further down 30 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna draw a trend line over there. Okay, so what I have said on the dollar CAD, sharp sell off. As long as price keep correcting, trend is intact. Okay, keep correcting, trend is intact. If correct for another time, trend is intact. Okay, so sharp sell off, okay, gonna give you a clue that it is going to drop for another leg lower. So once you see that this sharp sell off is coming, Okay, so start looking for this to go with the trend. All right, that's a structure. Okay, so same structure on Kiwi Chief. All right, so this might be a tipping point. I'm looking at the inverted chart, not looking at the normal chart. All right, that you guys can understand. Okay, so correct. Right, so correct and continue. Okay, or break another high on the Kiwi Chief and then, you know, continue. That's the way I have just explained the Euro New Zealand dollar. Okay, so if I'm gonna remove all these things, I'm gonna go to weekly chart. Okay, look at that, where that weekly candle has closed last week. Very sharp sell-off we have just experienced on these charts last week, because they are just extending since March, just going into one direction, keep rising, keep rising. Okay, now that's the formation. Okay, correct and drag lower. Okay, or go back up for another high. Yeah, if I'm gonna look at the further lower time frame, okay, there you are watching simply a deeper pullback. Okay, the corrections are there, already broken on lower time frame, same correction you have just seen on the New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Okay, correct for a bigger time frame and then drop. All right, so CAD Chief also same analysis. Let's make it a bit quicker right now. Okay, let's, you know, finish this stuff because we are above the time now. All right, so simply correction there as shown on the Kiwi Chief. Okay, so a bit deeper correction and then drag. All right, so last week we have seen another pullback. Okay, so a EuroCAD to go back up. Okay, so EuroCAD still can push but another leg higher, guys. All right, so EuroCAD to push back up. All right, so you're looking lower time frame for price to bounce. Okay, so Euro Pound. Okay, so Euro Pound to stay trending for short term. Okay, and let's go to the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so that trend is still intact. Okay, so same like the Euro New Zealand dollar chart. Okay, so correction, breakout, or another leg lower and then breakout or bounce off aggressively from the lows. Okay, so the Pound Chief. All right, so Pound Chief last week, as I said, still got a room to run for more upside. Okay, so same analysis after having that strong sell-off. Okay, same analysis there on this chart, correct. Okay, drag and break and drop. Okay, or go back up. All right, that's the analysis on the Pound Chief as well. Okay, Euro Aus also bounced off very aggressively. That's what I was talking about, you know, since last couple of weeks, guys. Okay, when price was testing these areas. Okay, so as long as price keep correcting, that's what I was saying. All right, so if correct, drop, don't worry, let that go. Correct, drop. Okay, so stay short term bearish. Correct, drop, stay short term bearish and wait for that. Well, it happened. Okay, it happened very aggressively for upside. Now what? Those who are just keep selling since March, okay, they have to stop at some point. Okay, they cannot keep pressing the currency market in a one direction forever. Okay, it's not a stock market, it's a currency market. Okay, which stay most of the time sideways. Okay, we don't see trending market on the currency market stay sideways most of the time. Okay, we see trend on stock market. All right, so buy the dips, you know, buy the dip mentality on stock market. Okay, so what's next? Okay, we are still within a bearish trend since March. Okay, so what's the analysis? Analysis is same like I have just, you know, explained on the Euro New Zealand dollar. Correct, breakout and continue. Again, tipping point. okay, or break out the trend and continue to keep dragging lower with the bearish trend, okay, on a lower time frame, as I have explained the dollar CAD. Okay, so what's on this chart? Same, invert, clean, all right, and the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so bearish trend, all right, correct, breakout and drop, okay, or breakout on a, you know, the correction on a lower time frame and continue to keep dragging lower, Aussie chief. All right, that's the structure. All right, so this sharp sell to correct and continue to keep dragging lower, or bounce off. All right, bounce off very aggressive for more upside. Okay, pound CAD, right, we got a sell off on pound CAD last week. Okay, what to do next? Just simply looking for this to hold the previous top. Okay, so short term still bullish. Okay, short term still bullish. You're looking it to drop very aggressively from the new high, or from the previous high. Okay, so it's also testing the weekly top. Okay, that's what you are looking. All right, I'm not showing the lower time frame, guys, because we run out of time. All right, and that's the reason I'm showing, you know, on a bigger time frame quickly to finish things up. Okay, so they're on the pound Australian dollar longer term reversals. All right, last week we were expecting it to keep dragging lower. It went lower, but again higher yields. Okay, so yeah, it bounced back very aggressively. So for next week, this structure I'm simply going to show you. Okay, you shouldn't be buyer over there at the current price because the move is pretty sharp for upside. Okay, and better to let this to break out and continue to go higher. You only can trade on for upside on a lower time frame, like 5 to 15 minute time frame, to chase that trade for more upside. Okay, so I will suggest you to better to wait for it to drop within the sideways market or expanding triangle, and then you trade. All right, or let this impulse to finish first. Okay, let this to completely go through and then correct over there, and then you chase the longer term reversal on the pound Australian dollar. Okay, otherwise you have to chase these very small time frame to get into the trade for upside. All right, okay, these corrections, okay, where you see, okay, so these correction you have to chase to buy. So I will suggest you to wait for a bigger, deeper pullback on a daily time frame back to the expanding triangle formation before you join this to buy for longer term. Okay, so this chart is also same longer term buy we are expecting on it now. All right, so again, better to wait for that expanding triangle formation. All right, so better to wait for the price to tag these areas, okay, for longer term reversal. If it keeps pushing higher, as said, follow the lower time frame, guys. Bitcoin, yeah, as said last week, guys, Bitcoin is volatile. All right, as said, as long as it keeps correcting on lower time frame, stay trending. Okay, and once it falls very aggressively, all right, start looking for a deeper correction. Okay, so it has removed almost 25% last week. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said last week to you guys. It can remove, you know, 50% of its value within a week. Okay, it can remove its value within a week. Okay, so it's a very high risk assets, all right, and high volatile assets. Okay, so you have to be, you know, pretty quick to make decisions on this chart. Okay, so what's next? Just simply stay trending. All right, just simply stay trending and trade with care. Okay, as long as this bubble is not going to burst and price keep correcting, you staying trending. Right, as long as this bubble is not going to burst, you are staying trending. Okay, so what I'm anticipating right now, okay, price to hold 45,000 mark. All right, 45,000 mark and continue. Okay, hold 45,000 mark and continue to keep pushing higher. Okay, up to 65. All right, or drag for another leg lower up to 40 mark. All right, and then continue the trend. Okay, so that's the structure. Okay, that's the formation. You're looking for that. If I'm gonna look at the lower time frame, you're looking it to hold this previous 45,000 mark. All right, so it just lost 15,000 from 60. All right, so 25%. So hold that 45,000 mark and just follow the lower time frame corrections if you are trading on it. All right, okay, so that's the structure. Bitcoin and UK oil is also same as I have just explained, the WTI. All right, and the other indices are still, still bullish, but as said, bigger correction is due. Okay, bigger correction is possible, so you're looking for this to slightly dip more lower and hold and go back up. Okay, correct and go back up. Okay, so others also stay trending for short term, as I have explained the Nasdaq 100 index. Okay, so this too correct all the way back to that previous bottom, like expanding triangle. All right, and hold that. Okay, and continue the trend. Okay, so US Russell 2000 as well. Okay, so stay trending. Okay, so short term stay trending. All right, so short term stay trending and trade with care. By the way, guys, on the indices, as said, normally we see negative correlation between the bond market and the stock market. Okay, but this time both are falling. All right, the reason is the higher yields. Okay, so make sure you trade with care. Back to that top or next leg over there. Same goes with this. Okay, and same goes with the European stock as well. Okay, so correction to slightly get bigger and continue the trend for more upside. All right, and there you got that leg and continue to keep pushing higher. All right, so same goes with this. Yeah, short-term bullish, short-term bullish, short-term bullish. All right, so correction is getting bigger, as said, expanding triangle formation. Okay, all the way back to that low. All right, so same there. Okay, so the trend to hold that floor. Okay, price to hold that floor and continue, keep pushing higher. Okay, so gold. Okay, last week we were expecting it to hold that previous 1760 and go back up. It held and went higher, but did not continue the trend. Okay, and dragged lower. All right, so again, guys, gold right now is not a best asset to buy. Okay, it's not a best asset to buy right now, and it is very much exposed to drop more downside. Reason, higher yields are coming over there. Okay, and if you are still buying gold, all right, make sure you understand that buying gold at current price is not is highly risky. All right, and this might be a start for a bigger correction. Okay, we have already seen that chart. I have already shown that expanding triangle formation, if you remember. Okay, and this might be a longer term move which can appear over there for the downside. Okay, so this might be a start for a bigger drop on gold. Okay, that expanding triangle, because market is expecting that the next rate rise cycle is going to be quicker than expected. Okay, if so, then gold is topped over there. Okay, also Gold is topped over there, and it can drag over there all the way back to that 1100 mark. Okay, but that's a longer term, you know, chart. People not gonna wait for that. What they're gonna they wanna see, you know, trade for tomorrow. For tomorrow, so stay. I mean, tomorrow is Sunday, all right? So tomorrow not gonna be trade, not gonna be over there. So tomorrow they're gonna be closed. So I mean, you know, Monday. So still you are looking this, okay, this move, that move, how far it goes, just follow. Yeah, if drop after correcting all the way back to these areas, okay, like there, okay, then longer term drop. Okay, if not, then again this daily flag to break out for more upside. Okay, this is still stay bullish on gold. Okay, but as said, you know, this might be a top on gold. Okay, yeah, this 20,075 for longer term. Yeah, it gonna depends on the rates. Okay, if rates keeps rising, yeah, then gold is not going to rise, right? So how rates gonna stop rising? When central banks gonna intervene. Okay, if they're gonna intervene and they're gonna start yield curve control, yeah, then we may see, you know, again same market, I mean trending moves. Okay, so if you see correction is just coming over there on this 1 hour time frame, then keep dropping. All right, another correction, keep dropping. All right, and if a very quick move is just coming over there, just simply look for buy and it to go higher. Okay, all the way back to this previous top. All right, so that's your gold chart. Okay, so silver chart is again, it's all about yield, guys. Okay, so last week I was asking you to wait for this to tag the 130 mark. Okay, it hasn't gone up to 30 mark. Yeah, it just broke out. So I'm just simply gonna talk about this daily time frame. Yeah, breakout. Okay, all the way back to that low. Breakout is already happening, so you're looking for this to continue to keep dragging lower, but trade with care on a bigger time frame, guys. All right, so I think let's just finish here. We are, you know, gone beyond 2 hours. Okay, and there are many other assets left. All right, so I think we should stop here. And yeah, so cryptocurrency is also same. Okay, like I said before, they're trending. Okay, on Ethereum too. Ethereum to go back to 2000. Stay trending on OITA to continue to keep pushing higher. Stay trending on all. All right, they broke. All right, after we have seen tremendous weaknesses last week on the Bitcoin. Yeah. All right, guys. So thank you very much. How about your idea about count V and set up our Euro yen is still a you know, guys, just work on this. It's all about risk on and risk off market. Okay, risk on and risk off market. Before that, we were having a risk off market very strong. Before last week, okay, we were having a strong risk on market. The assets which are, you know, riskier, they were rising. They are rising since March. Okay, and the assets which are, you know, which are safe havens, okay, they were falling. What happened last week? Okay, so riskier assets, they went lower. Okay, and safe havens went higher. Okay, dollar is a safe haven, yen is a safe haven. All right, and gold is a safe haven. Gold went lower because dollar went higher. Right, silver went lower because dollar went higher because of the yield. Okay, so bond is also safe havens. Okay, bond dropping. All right, and equities were dropping too. So as I said, both were dropping because of higher yields created uncertainty into the market. Normally, when stock goes lower, we see higher, you know, bonds. Okay, bond goes higher. So again, you know, right now, last week, the moves which we have seen were risk of move. Okay, sharp sell off we have seen. Okay, and strength on the dollar. Okay, so the currencies which I have just shown, maybe you have realized that on many charts I have just shown, you know, same structure, same direction, all right? I haven't shown a different kind of analysis on those charts. So that was just because of the risk on risk of move, okay? All right. So when risk of move gonna be over there, okay, dollar gonna gain, yen gonna gain, all right? Or safe haven's gonna gain, all right? When risk on move gonna be over there, you're gonna see higher stock prices. Stock gonna go higher. So if you know, great. Okay, if you don't know, then do some research on the Google and you're gonna know about that. All right. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming into the weekly market outlook. And Dogecoin. So Dogecoin, you know, cryptocurrencies are highly manipulated. So if you are trading on coins which are being, you know, being manipulated from tweets, all right? So trade with care. Dogecoin definitely is under pressure after having some comments from the Elon Musk, all right? So yeah, it is not a best coin right now to trade, guys. This is not a best coin to trade right now at such levels, all right? I mean, specifically if you are a longer term investors, all right? And for short term, it's okay. They can trade, still can trade for small moves on it, okay? But yeah, it's forming a very big correction, okay? And that correction can keep dragging all the way lower, okay? Like that, the way it is doing right now. Okay, it can retrace 100% before going to jump, all right? So I think I should remove these arrows. Okay, so it can 100% retrace all the way back to this previous low before going to continue to go more higher, guys. All right, it's not a best coin to invest right now. All right, so that's it, guys. Thank you very much. We'll see you back again in another weekly market outlook next week. Until then, bye bye.